Hey there, Stephen. How's it going tonight?
Hey, great to be here, Nemo.
Thank you very much for jumping on a call with me here. It's pretty interesting here, like being able to talk to you and be able to share a little bit about your journey. Just because I feel I feel pleased that like we've been able to go through working together for all these years here. And I'm glad that you have an opportunity to share a little bit about yourself out there. Take a step back, maybe even just to be able to look back at all the things that you've accomplished, and give a little bit of a glimpse into that for others to perhaps provide a little bit of inspiration for them as they're going through their journey. To kind of see like what can be accomplished and like how they might be able to translate the things that have happened to you to their own personal lives. How does that sound to you?
Sounds awesome.
Awesome. So like before we get into anything here, like it'd be really great to just understand like you and like where you were in your journey, or where you are in your journey right now. Like, do you mind just like getting us up to speed generally?
Sure. So, to just provide some background, I had not known about what an actuary was until after I had received my first bachelor's in business, and I'd gone into management training, and I was just kind of looking for a change up. I was looking for different kind of roles and responsibilities, and it was through a friend that I heard about what an actuary was. And to me, it just so many things rang true. I enjoyed the challenge. I enjoyed the prospect of going through exams to achieve a credential, to have a further and deeper understanding of technical aptitude that actuaries have. And I just couldn't deny the excitement for the profession. So I'm a career changer in that regard, and I've been back at school earning my double major in mathematics, and also too trying to figure out how to pass these exams, these challenging but rewarding exams. And at this point in time, I am wrapping up my second bachelor's at Oregon State University, and also too I have two exams and looking for my first actuarial opportunity.
All right. Look at that there. It's from not knowing anything about it to like, really taking that level of commitment and saying like I'm going back to school, we're gonna learn this here. I'm gonna pass exams, I'm gonna make all these things kind of come together to be able to accomplish that. That's pretty awesome, my friend.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
That's yeah, no, I mean like it's funny because I can like sum it all up there and I'm like, wow, like that was awesome. You woke up one day and then you decided, boom, I'm gonna be like, Mr. Actuary, and I'm just gonna make it happen. But like, realistically, this is a journey, right? And our paths take us in various directions here. I'll be kind of curious as to, if you can real quick, let's take some time here. Like if you can think about like one of your bigger challenges throughout your journey, right? And like some of the things that were surrounding it, right? Can you take some time to just think through that real quick? You don't have to say anything just yet. I'd like love to like find out a little bit about like your approach to it and what happened from there. All right. Cool. So help us paint the page. Like help us understand the situation. Like where are you? What was going on through in your life at this time here? And what spurred you? What motivated you to start taking action in a different direction?
So I think the first thing that really comes to mind in this journey was attempting to pass my first actuarial exam. And the advice I was given was, well, Stephen, you have some business experience. You've probably seen some finance already. Why not take FM? And I thought, well, this is good advice. Let's do it. Unfortunately, I didn't continue that searching process for how to prepare for an exam. What are the best materials? What are different ways that people are successful? And I actually scheduled to sit for for the FM exam, and I was not prepared. I had no business being there, and I thought to myself, well, if I show up, I go through it, I think I'll take something away. But there was only so much to take away from the experience, but I just wasn't prepared. And it only followed by even more poor decisions by, well, this one didn't go well. If I just put another one on the calendar, goodness, that's going to really motivate me to get this thing passed. And it was bad timing. It was during a full school term, and it still hadn't figured out or understood what is required to prepare for and successfully pass an exam. And I had sat for the test twice, not passed, and here I am putting it all on the line to become an actuary. What's going on?
What's going on? That's definitely like the question there, and like I could see just like, well, actually, I just want to know what was going on. So like it looks like you decided to do something different. Tell me about that there.
I think this is kind of a learning moment that I can interject a little principle that I think might help others out there in their journey. Mm-hmm. And a part of this, making the decision to pursue this, I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but I also wanted to create a better outlook on how I was going to approach these new challenges. And it was actually something I picked up without even unintentionally knowing that it was good advice. But the book, The Richest Man Babylon, it's really short book, but it's got a really interesting story behind it. But it covers a lot of little short stories about the richest man in Babylon. And one of the stories in there was that the richest man in Babylon sent his son out with some money to go create their own wealth. And they ended up losing it all. And they went back with no money in their pockets, told their father that, hey, I have no money. And what had happened was he had given it all to an individual who said that he had the best, finest racing horse in the land, and that if he just gave him all his money, he can double it really quickly. And the lesson that was learned was you need to go to the experts whenever you're making a decision. Because was this individual necessarily the best, the guru of racing horses? Or was he just someone you met in your travels that told a really convincing story and you gave him all your money? And so in that regard, when it came to the test, I had reached out to classmates and I said, what did you do? And they told me, but it just wasn't sufficient. It's like, well, this worked for me, but it's not the golden study plan. And so I knew I had to go to professionals. I had to go to those who had been there and done that and were experienced and had faced some challenges themselves. So that's when I was really looking, and it was when Actuarial Journey popped up in that search. And to me, it became a very clear choice to get the right customized help to figure out how to take on these exams.
Absolutely. Like it's really interesting how you say the right customized help. And I think that's exactly like what we look to deliver here. So, like, tell me about like some of your initial times in Actuarial Journey. Once you made a decision to come in and such, like, what were some of the things that surprised you or maybe tested you and that like maybe changed the way you thought about your approach?
I think the biggest thing is accountability, because it's pretty easy to say you're going to do something, but it's another to actually do it, to actually put the pedal to the metal, where the rubber meets the road. Mm-hmm. And it's really easy to put on your calendar, I'm going to take the test, but it's a whole other thing to actually plan it out and do it. And being a part of the community was, after the first week where we set goals, coming back, it was, hey, this was your goal. How did that turn out for you? And thankfully I was prepared. But also too, it puts you on the spot and it makes you really consider, hey, I need to make more accurate goals that are reasonable. And then in the process of making goals, we're always trying to stretch each other and push each other. So sometimes I felt like I've been pushed further than I thought possible. But in that process, I was able to accomplish more than I ever thought. So that's another benefit that I really liked about being part of the community.
Awesome. I hope I'm not putting you on the spot here, but like you said, you were able to accomplish more than you ever thought. Do you mind just like talking through like maybe one example of that, like a time where you faced a challenge that you just thought was like either maybe not insurmountable, or perhaps it was, or something that was like really like bringing you down. And like, how did you like use the community and your other resources to be successful?
Well, I think I'll fast forward a little bit, being a part of the community. It was really when I had attempted to take FM another sitting and it wasn't successful, even though being a part of the community, even though getting all the right advice. I was still fighting a struggle that I think was really lack of confidence and lack of saying that, believing that the success was right in front of you, but not making those last little steps necessary to achieve it. And for me, being a part of the community, it wasn't, wow, you didn't meet your goals, you're gone, you're out. It was, okay, hey, let's pick ourselves up, let's continue to move forward. And it was that energy and that belief in each other that kept me going forward, gave me confidence, and ultimately led to me sitting and passing at my first actual exam FM. And just after that, it's like, okay, I understand the mold now. And it's hilarious because so many times I was so close, and for whatever reason, I was my own worst enemy. But even though I'm fighting this, the community kept propelling me forward and getting me moving in the positive direction, to where, after passing that exam, it was a no-brainer. Let's take the next one. And as much as I'd like to say I passed on the first attempt, it only took 2 attempts this time, but it was a drastic improvement upon the first exam.
That's awesome, there, Stephen. And I think like, it's, I'm actually a little bit of at a loss for words. Go figure. Like Nemo doesn't have words. What? But I think that's like a really true aspect of this here, right? Like, let's be real. Like, these exams are hard. Sometimes you'll pass in the first try every time. Sometimes there'll be ups and downs there, but like to know that you had like that support, or at least to hear from you about like that support, to keep coming up there. And it's interesting. We were just talking about how before we jumped on this call, I was just kind of thinking about our community and what are the things that are important to be a trailblazer. What does it actually mean to be a trailblazer? Why, like, what does it mean to be a part of this trailblazer community? And some of the major things that came up there was, to be more you, right? To find your unique advantages and make that work for you in like a way where it's like less work for you and like better results as a result. And the other thing that really, really struck through was to create a safe and positive environment where people can explore, and find out for themselves like how they can be successful, because there is no cookie cutter solution, right? Like what what works for one person, like almost definitely won't work for you. But I think that's one of the fun things that we get to do with this kind of like in-person interaction that we have here, where like we get to explore it from a personalized area, that customized solution.
That's exactly right. I mean, everybody would always share their thoughts, and I'd get a lot of really good ideas. And it really just took me to just play around and find what finally worked. I mean, for example, we discussed what to actually think and quantify. What part of your day are you most productive? And let's schedule that time for this exam. And to think of what we ended up doing for me was, let's do it in the morning. Put in your best thoughts, your best attention into the study material, and then go to the rest of your day, and you can take care of whatever comes at you, but you took care of those hours. And on the flip side of that, it was a constant reaction in the day where I have to get these hours in, and oh no, I didn't start quite on time. And it just a small little change made a big difference.
Yeah. And I like that, like a small little change. Cause this is not like what I have found through this, and you all have taught me a lot here, which is that like, you know, you are all just like perfect and awesome as you are, right? Like you don't need actuarial journey, but what is the cool thing here is that like by coming together, by doing all these things here, we're able to unlock those things in you already that much faster along your journey. And you're able to get those results that much faster along your journey. And you're able to stay on your path, stay on that journey, no matter what challenges and obstacles come your way. You know, it really, really puts a smile on my face to like hear that, like, you know, even though you were having like some exam challenges in the past, like you kept going, you know, and we were there for you. And to the point that like you, I remember this, right? It was not an easy time, you know? And like you talk about like trying to study and whatnot, but like you're also a full-time student, you know, like trying to, how do you balance all that, the commitments you have with your other group members, with your midterms, with all these different things going on there. And like, I remember just like talking through all this together. And it's really great to hear like, you know, where your momentum is going, like, and seeing like the speed of it being able to be picked up there. And um just being open to that exploration, you know. So thank you for that, Stephen. I appreciate you for that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just here. I'm a part of the ride. I'm enjoying
You are the ride, my friend.
it.
It's your journey, you know. That's awesome, man. That's really great. So tell us about how things are for you right now. Like what's going on here. You've now passed 2 exams. What's happening in your life right now, and what's your next adventure?
Well, taking the exams and going to the gurus that are best for you. For me, the next step was, okay, what do I need to know? What are employers looking for? Do I have all the right skill set that employers are looking for? So in that regard, I committed to myself, I am going to hear from the experts. I want to know what the industry is talking about. And so I was in attendance to the Casualty Actuarial Society spring meeting in Seattle this last spring, and got some great information about what they're looking for, and also good contacts, which actually, which led me to choose to do online courses to better my technical skills, because it wasn't as well served in my academics, so I knew I had to build that skill set, so I did that. And then also, too, I was able to reach out to one of the contacts, and they were just so willing to help critique my resume. So I was able to get a lot of these things figured out and really customize and put myself in a position now where I can be an attractive candidate, because I was willing to commit myself to get the expertise, get the most important information. And I had no guarantee that someone was going to be willing to, an actuary was going to critique my resume so it looked like what they read every day and what they want to find. That was awesome. I mean, people pay hundreds of dollars for that type of service, and I was able to get that from someone else's generosity. So at this point, I'm just putting myself out there. I am knocking on the door of opportunity, and I know very soon I'll be looking at my first actual opportunity.
That is spectacular. And you know, Stephen, what I'm hearing from you with like what's driving through and underneath all that there is this aspect of like you are taking action. You're taking massive action there. And you're not waiting for things to line up. You're not waiting for someone to come over and say things. You're creating these opportunities, you know? You like to the point where someone comes by and they see you and they're like, yo, like there's something about you that makes me want to invest more, you know? And through that experience, like not only are you getting the resume critique, but you're also getting that relationship, right? This relationship that a lot of people come out and they're like, oh, I just have to go and network all over the place. And, you know, if I just like email and all that, and all you did was you were just yourself, you know, attending this thing here and taking action. And it's so cool because there's just something about that action taking quality that other people see, and they're like, oh, yeah, that person over there, I want to invest in that person. I want to go that extra step in them, and I'm excited for you because I know all the great things that you're going to be able to do as a result of this, right? Not just for yourself, but to like the next person you see where you're like, oh, I recognize myself in you. Let's do this. That's so much fun, man. I'm so happy to hear that. It looks like you want to say something. Go ahead.
I do. I wanted to also mention that, my discussion has been about the hurdle of exams and how I was able to discover what worked for me by participating with the actual journey. But also another thing is seeing everybody else in their journey, some of their success and things that they're doing, it rubs off on you. And it's hard to really see how that works. But, these actions that I took these last 6 months is also a byproduct of seeing the success of others and what they're doing. So it's like, I'm learning in more ways than one really how to approach the challenges of the actuarial journey by participating in the community. And it's just great to see the achievements at this point, looking back, and really it's a product of a lot of of what we do here.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Stephen. And I will say, success begets success, right? There's a quote by the late Jim Rohn. He was a peak performance coach who said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and it's kind of cool where you're like, yo, if I'm around people that are getting things done, lo and behold, I'm going to get things done too. I'm around action takers and people who are having success, lo and behold, I'm going to have that too, And I will say, you have approached all this with just an open heart, open mind, the opportunity and willingness to continue on the journey, and to take those steps further. Your success it's just not a surprise to me. It's just not a surprise to me. What is so inspiring to me is that I know that as time goes on, as you continue this up, as you keep this momentum, you're only going to increase your velocity towards success, and things are going to keep getting better and better for you. And the cool thing is that we're going to be here for you whenever that next challenge comes up there. We'll go ahead and we'll set up what do you need to do in the next 2 weeks to get rid of that, or how can we make this tangible so that you have some action and execution based goals to make some things come forward. And I don't know, I feel very, very fortunate to be able to work with you and the others in the community, because y'all get it done, and as a result, your lives are changing. And what I'm seeing here is that the cost of potentially having to take a long time to get to the same results, I just see you guys just making so much out of it. You're like, yep, getting better, did that, but in half the time. Literally, you're like, yep, did that half the time. Bring it, So, just couldn't be happier for your current success. And I know that there's better things coming up. So I hope you're ready for that.
I am. And, back to what you said, bring any of your challenges to the group and we'll figure something out. And that's also the beautiful thing, because I've never felt like I've been on my own. I've never really felt like this was all on my own shoulders, that there was someone else to share the load and give me some much needed advice and guidance. And so thank you for letting me be a part of the group. It's just been a pleasure being engaged with everybody and just being on this journey together.
Absolutely, Stephen. I think we'll end things off here there, because I know that I caught you at a busy time here, and I want to make sure that I'm respectful of your time. But it's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to all the great things that you'll accomplish, and I appreciate you letting me be a part of your journey along the way.
Yes, thank you very much, Nemo. It's been a joy and an absolute pleasure.
All right, my friend. Thank you. All right, journey on. Have a good night.
Thank you. Take care.